With the Ultrascope mounting kit from Wheeler Tools, I'll have you punching paper in less than 5 minutes. Keep watching to learn how. So when we open the box, the first thing we see are the instructions as well as a reflective target card, which we'll use later. We got a fat wrench. We have fat wrench bits. We've got a laser bore sighter. We have a barrel vise clamp with level. We have a reference level, thread locker, and a lens pen. So let's get started on installing this scope on this rifle and see how it works. So the first thing I like to do is go ahead and install the scope ring bases. When you do this, make sure they're spaced properly for the scope so that they're not hitting anything or interfering with the turret. And then once you get it there, go ahead and double check your eye relief to make sure that it's going to give you what you want when you're trying to shoot and your vision isn't distorted or impaired at all. That looks pretty good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tighten these bases down. So with that, we're going to go ahead and use our fat wrench. Go ahead and install the tool, and we are going to set that torque to the manufacturer's spec. And on this one, they want 30 pounds. So let's go ahead and get it tight. There's that one and that one. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and put the scope ring tops on. Now, when you put these on, go ahead and tighten them up, but make sure they're not snug yet. We're going to have to adjust this scope a little bit. When you do this, also alternate sides when you're tightening down because you want the gap to be pretty close. And if you don't, what it's going to do is clamp to one side, which can lead to a canted reticle. Once you have all of these snug, just double check that you can rotate it, which we can, but if it's a little too tight, you can go ahead and back off a little bit. That way it moves a little easier for you. Then go ahead and move to the second base, and we'll get that one done. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and install the barrel clamp level. To do this, simply slide it on the barrel and begin tightening the bottom set screws. As you do this, you should see the bubble start to become present in the center of the level. Once it's on pretty tight, once it's snug, you can actually fine tune that bubble to make sure it's just perfect by turning the set screw on the top clockwise or counterclockwise. Now that that's done, you can take that as reference, that level, and use your second level, which is the reference level. Go ahead and place it on the turret of the scope and rotate the scope until that level looks just like the one in front. That looks pretty good. Now that it's there, you can go ahead and start tightening the screws on the scope ring bases. And you just want to make sure that you're doing that per the manufacturer's recommendations. This one's 25 inch-pounds, so we'll go ahead and do that. Once you're at the range, set up the reflective target 25 yards away from where you're going to sight in the rifle. Once you've set that target up and it's secured, come back to the rifle using the laser bore sighter. Place it on the front of the barrel and turn it on. You should see a green laser downrange, and that should tell you approximately where the bullet is going to land. Keeping the laser on, remove the turret caps on your scope and adjust the crosshair so that the crosshair aligns with the laser, and that should actually be about a ½ inch low. Once you've adjusted the turret so that the reticle is a ½ inch low, Simply turn the laser off, remove it, remove the reflective target, and start putting rounds down range. Adjust from there, but you shouldn't have to adjust much. I'd like to thank Wheeler Tools for sending the Ultrascope mounting kit to me, letting me test it out and run it and play with it. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Also, don't forget, like and subscribe the channel. It really does help and go a long way. That's all the time we have for today, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.